Blinding flashes have been repeatedly lighting up cities across different countries on our planet. These phenomena are being widely discussed and studied by experts. Some specialists are convinced that these events are caused by either a meteor flying through the atmosphere or a sonic boom. Here's one such flash caught on camera in Russia.
Чё за фигня, блин? Откуда свет сверху? Блин, что-то я очкую. Чё это, господи?
Local residents describe the event as both terrifying and awe-inspiring, a strange occurrence in the night sky. The local police received numerous calls from people who had witnessed blue, white, and green lights streaking across the sky. Some also reported hearing a loud boom, which led to the theory that it may have been a meteor or the result of a sonic boom. However, the meteorological office later confirmed that the phenomenon was not related to any weather conditions, as there had been no thunderstorms recorded that evening. So what, or who, was responsible for the unexplained flash that lasted just a few seconds? On November 14, 2023, a strange and mystifying phenomenon was captured in the skies over East London. This eerie formation resembled a massive suspension bridge floating in the clouds. It looked either like a hologram or clouds deliberately shaped by some unknown force. Because naturally, nothing like this occurs in the sky, and such a formation had never been seen before. If we can even call it a cloud, it appeared just before a thunderstorm. This weather anomaly remains completely unexplained. In Syria, local residents spotted bizarre wave-like patterns in the sky, prompting the Turkish Air Force to abruptly suspend flights over the area. The video was recorded by civilians. Some began to pray, others cried out in astonishment, while many fled indoors in fear. This strange, mystical phenomenon resembled waves on the surface of the sea, only they were moving across the sky, above the clouds. The pulses looked like they were coming from some sort of radio transmitter. No one had ever reported seeing anything like this before. One theory suggests that it might be another batch of satellites activating global 5G coverage. But what do you think it could be?
Машалла, машалла, машалла! Я не знаю, что это такое. Аллаху акбар! Mana farishtalar, Allahu akbar. Mana. Как волны в море они ходят туда-сюда.
Something very strange happened in November 2023. This event is still being discussed around the world. Something odd was seen in the sky, and it was captured on camera. Unfortunately, the video is very short. That might suggest it's a hoax or fake of some kind. However, if you watch closely and replay it, you'll notice people on the street looking up, visibly shocked and frightened by the mysterious sight above. So if this isn't a fake but an actual event, what could it be? A cluster of drones? An alien spacecraft? Or an unknown atmospheric phenomenon? What's your theory? On July 9, 2018, in the American state of Texas, residents of a small town were stunned when a UFO emerged directly from the clouds. But what shocked witnesses most wasn't the appearance of a UFO itself, it was the shape. Instead of the usual flying saucer, they saw a perfect cube hovering in the sky. Shortly after, photos of the mysterious object flooded the internet. The first images were posted by a man from El Paso. In the comments, he wrote that before the black cube appeared, a strong wind had picked up. Then, the clouds began swirling into a dark ring-shaped vortex. He immediately pulled out his phone and began recording. When he zoomed in on the photos, he noticed something strange. In one of the images, the cube looked more like a parallelepiped. Another witness said she noticed the bizarre object while getting ready for lunch during a break. Between the clouds, she saw a cube-shaped object moving through the sky. At first, she thought it might be an oddly shaped balloon. But as she looked closer, she realized the object was massive, and it was emitting a faint humming noise. Perhaps the mysterious cube was an elaborate hoax or a clever marketing stunt. But what if it was actually a real UFO? This event has been making headlines on news channels around the world for months. According to reports, the video was filmed at an evening school session, where you can hear the shouts of astonished children witnessing what appears to be a real UFO. A mysterious object hovered above their heads before vanishing at incredible speed. This happened at a middle school in the city of Ventsville. The footage was uploaded to Facebook, where hundreds of children were recorded witnessing the strange object, causing panic to erupt among the crowd. Some speculated that it might have been a laser or some sort of projection, but that theory was ruled out once the object began to move at a high speed. News channels confirmed that there were no rocket launches that day, no meteor sightings, and no scheduled light shows. When the video is zoomed in, the object appears as a glowing mass, seemingly ready to take off at light speed. Sure, it could be a digital fabrication, but then why were hundreds of kids reacting so genuinely, staring up at the sky in shock? Here's a still image of the object with enhanced contrast and exposure. What do you think this thing is? In recent years, weather events have become increasingly extreme. Sudden floods, wildfires, and earthquakes are becoming all too common. On October 27, 2022, residents of Cienfuegos, Cuba, were stunned when they saw a massive column of water rising from the ocean. A local woman named Claudia managed to capture this unusual event on camera. Witnesses said the water column began forming around 5:25 p.m. and moved slowly along the horizon for about 25 minutes. This rare occurrence is likely a waterspout, a swirling column of air and water vapor forming over a body of water. Waterspouts can pose a serious threat to people, boats, and ships. Although waterspouts are commonly seen in tropical regions, this one stood out for its size and intensity well beyond what's considered normal. It left the local population in absolute shock. In the evening over Saratov, Russia, an unusual natural phenomenon was observed. Eyewitnesses shared on social media that they had seen strange clouds over the city, as if streams of air were descending from a massive cloud down toward the ground. Locals quickly took to the internet to share their impressions, posting dozens of photos and videos. One common theory was that it might have been caused by a heavy mix of rain and snow. A meteorologist offered a scientific explanation for the event. The day before, the region had experienced a cold snap, with an Arctic air mass arriving. Reportedly, these were streaks of precipitation falling from clouds, a kind of cloud shedding. The precipitation didn't quite reach the ground, hanging instead like long, tattered streamers. In South Carolina, a woman captured a bizarre sky phenomenon on her phone. This strange formation in the sky literally looked like ocean waves. While wave-shaped clouds aren't rare, these ones were something else entirely, truly unique. Just watching them on a screen is dizzying. Imagine witnessing that in person. Some believe it's a natural anomaly caused by a secret weather-manipulating weapon, possibly HARP. What do you think about this? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
This is what the sky looks like. Never seen it in my life. That is, it looks almost like, I don't even know how to explain it.
When you look up at the sky, how often do you see signs or omens? Maybe you've seen a sinister face, or even the devil himself. You'll know what I mean in a second. It's hard to explain how this sky phenomenon occurred, but it looks like an evil smiley face staring straight out of hell. Seriously though, how did sunlight reflect off the clouds in such a perfect way? Just look at the stunning optical illusion, a fiery ring with two eyes beneath it. It's easy to imagine that seeing something like this in person would leave you feeling deeply unsettled. Strange glowing lights were spotted from a commercial airplane at an altitude of 12,000 meters. You're about to see the footage, and it'll definitely leave you with questions. This mysterious phenomenon was observed over the northern Pacific Ocean, early in the morning on July 18, 2022. There are no cities or signs of civilization anywhere nearby. This is deep out at sea, far from land. Take a look at the mysterious scene. Some speculated that the lights might have been fishing boats gathered in one place. But honestly, that doesn't quite make sense to me. What kind of boat lights could shine bright enough to be seen from 12 kilometers in the air? And would that many ships even be in the same area at once? What do you think these bright red lights in the middle of the ocean could be? On June 16, 2020, a man was filming his flight from Phoenix to Portland, Oregon, when he caught something truly bizarre. It was unlike anything people have ever seen in the skies, and it was genuinely stunning. The video shows two long, dark objects floating in the air next to the plane. They had tails or tendrils trailing behind them, and at one point they seemed to merge into a single shape. Then the entity flips in midair, and that's where the footage ends. Since the nature of the mysterious object is unknown, it technically qualifies as a UFO, an unidentified flying object. However, the man who uploaded the footage, along with many viewers, believe it wasn't an alien craft, but possibly a previously unknown airborne life form. One commenter even noted that scientists are constantly discovering new creatures on Earth. The phenomenon has been nicknamed the sky squid. This cube-shaped object was recorded on the morning of July 22, 2023, near the Halifax River in the United States. If you look closely, you can see a plane flying above the cube, and then, within seconds, it vanishes. The strangest part? At first, the cube was clearly visible, but once it began to rotate, it simply evaporated into the middle of a cloud, as if it was never there. Some might suggest it was just a square-shaped cloud, but here's the catch. When the cube disappeared, the surrounding clouds didn't change at all. Their shape stayed the same. It really felt like something was hiding behind them. Cubic-shaped UFOs have been reported on Earth before, although their purpose remains totally unclear. What do you think this was? Maybe it's just my imagination, or the video creators. Then again, it really does seem like something is deliberately hidden inside.
Yeah, except it's like maybe something hiding in it.